Okay, so up until now, we've been using our manual focus on the camera to set up each shot. But I wanted to show you an easier way to kind of keep things sharp at all times and not have to reset every time we move the camera. So just to refamiliarize ourselves with that, let's go back to our close-up tray over here. And let's click on our close-up tray camera. And in the details panel, we'll see that we have our manual focus method and the usual way of finding our focus by using the focus debug plane. And we would be good and we'd be happy with this. But the problem is if we decided, hey, we don't like this shot, let's move it back out. All of a sudden we have to reset our focus, and that's just not conducive to fast iteration, to finding new shots, and so on. So let's go ahead and find our focus really quick here. So I'm going to just show you a new way to track our focus essentially. So if we go to our focus settings under focus method, we have this drop down menu over here. We can select tracking. And let's go ahead and clear this. And what that's going to do is it's going to track the focus to whatever object in the scene that we want it to track it to. So what we could do is we can use this picker right here and select any object in the scene and it'll actually track its focus to it. So to demonstrate, I'm going to use this number 4 over here. And you'll see that the actor to track is there. It's obviously, it hasn't changed much because we were not close enough to really see where the focus plane is. But now that I'm closer, we'll see that we're tracking the focus to the number 4 at all times, right? And that's great. That's a great way to do things, especially on these smaller objects. And you can choose that you can use that picker again and use it for other objects as well, like this torus or this marble apple back there. So that method is great for smaller objects, but it's actually not great for metahumans or characters. And the reason is, and I'll demonstrate right here, if we go ahead and use the picker one more time and use our BP, and we clicked on our actor, our BP tray here, it's not remotely in focus. And that's because the focus is being tracked to the origin, the root origin of this character, which tends to be at their feet. And that's not going to work for us. So what we want to do now is we're going to create a new object that we're going to parent to the face or the eyes of our character so that we can tell the engine that that's what we want to track, right? So I'll show you how to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and clear this. And we're going to go ahead and pop out of the view. We're going to create a new empty actor, which is over here in the place actors window. Go ahead and click and drag that into our scene. We can go ahead and hit G so we can see it a little bit better. And you'll see that it's just this big sphere. We don't actually see this in game. It's just an object that's an invisible object that we can tell the engine, hey, this is what we want you to focus on. Kind of like a null object in After Effects, if you're familiar with that. So what we want to do now is you see it right here. We're going to actually call this focus tray, focus underscore tray. And we're going to click and drag this and parent it or attach it to the BP tray character. And now these two items are parented together. So if I were to move my character left and right, you'll see that it's moving with us. So they're kind of parented together. And just undid that. And what we want we want this object to be right in their eyes. That's where the focus plane wants us, that's where we want the focus plane to be. So quick thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll up here. We're going to reset our location and reset our rotation. And you'll see that it kind of goes to its feet, which is the root origin of our character. And we don't want that there. We want to be able to move it like so into closer to the face and the eyes of our character. So let's go ahead and kind of navigate and make sure that we have it in a good place. Kind of like in between the two eyes is a good place for this. And you can just get a little closer. It doesn't have to be too meticulous, but this is a good starting point, maybe a little bit deeper like that. So we can go ahead and now repossess our close-up tray camera. We can go into the close-up tray details, scroll down, we have our tracking on, and now we're going to select our actor to track, and we're going to do it to the focus tray actor that we just created. Go ahead and search for that. And go ahead and click that, focus tray, and boom, we have our focus tracked to that actor, which in this case will appear like we're tracking Trey all along. Okay, so that's step one, or I should say alternative or method one for tracking actors. What I'd want to show you now, though, is that because this isn't parented to a specific bone in the metahuman skeleton, the actor, the empty actor that we created, is just going to stay in place if we were to move this character, if it had an animation of some sort. And because we don't have any animation in this scene, the way I'm going to demonstrate it is just by kind of doing our reset of our actor by clicking on and off here. You'll see that he's standing up now and into a normal position, but the empty actor did not move with him. So it's not parented to the actual skeleton or to a bone on the metahuman here. And that can be an issue if you're doing something with motion or with animation and they're moving around or talking even, and they're bobbing their head back and forth, and this empty actor is not moving with him. So I just wanted to show you that part and why that's not going to work for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the sequence here and reset him really quick. So we're going to go ahead and reset him real quick by clicking and dragging in the sequence. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and show you how to fix this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead into our content browser. We're going to go actually to the root folder right here. If you hit content, interior VC, intro VC, and we're going to create a new folder by right-clicking on the content browser and create a new folder. We're going to call this BP for Blueprint Focus. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a really simple blueprint class so that we can attach our empty actor to a bone. So we're going to go ahead and right-click there and click on Blueprint class. We're going to select actor. And we're going to call this focus. Sorry, we're going to call this Trey _ head bone. And we'll leave it at that for now. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go over here to our Trey, our BP Trey actor character. And we're going to hit this click to edit the blueprint button. And that brings up a new window. Don't be alarmed. We're not going to be dealing with any of these graphs over here. It's going to be a simple thing that we're going to do here so that we can go ahead and parent our focus actor to a bone. So we're going to go ahead and take this Trey head bone and click and drag it and make sure that that's under the body section. Actually, we're going to do that again. We're going to go ahead and make sure that it's under the attach. We want to attach it to the body. There we go. So we see it's indented underneath there. And really quickly, what we're going to do over here is we're going to go to this parent socket and we're going to select the head. And what this does is it brings up all the sockets or bones that are part of the body of this metahuman. And what we want to do is we want to parent that to the head bone, which is right here. And you'll see that the parent socket now is the head bone. And that's pretty much it for now. So we can go ahead and compile and then save. And let's hit X to close that out. Let's actually delete our old focus tray. And we can hit yes. And you've noticed now that the BP Trey character now has this Trey head bone empty actor essentially right under. And I know that we didn't rename it 1. That's kind of an automatic thing that Unreal does. So we now have a bone that we can parent our focus actors to, right? So you'll see that it's there, right there. And what we can do now is we can recreate our empty actor. We can go ahead and click and drag that into the scene. We're going to rename it Focus Trey. And we're going to go ahead and do what we've done already before, but we're going to now attach it to this new head bone. And by clicking in the location and rotation resets, we're going to see that it's going to go right to where it needs to go. Boom, it's right on the head bone now, which is what we want. But you'll notice that the head bone itself kind of lies right kind of in the middle of the neck. We want this to be kind of, right by the eyes. So let's go once again into our, scooch this over this way, into our BP tray blueprint again. Let's bring that window one more time. We're going to go here to the viewport and we're going to zoom in. Oops. I'm going to zoom in and we're going to select our tray head bone. And we're going to just kind of move it like we did it earlier. And you'll see it moving over here too. And we're going to just place this, in between the eyes like we had earlier. And so that will be kind of where our bone, where this newly created bone is going to be placed. So somewhere in that vicinity is really good there. Okay, so let's hit compile and save. And we don't even have to do anything because our focus actor is moved to where that bone has just been moved. And if we are in the camera view right here, and if I go ahead and make sure we're selected on the close-up tray, we can reset this because we've deleted it earlier. And let's go ahead and look for focus tray. And there we have it. So we're back to where we were earlier. The only difference is if I pop out here and I go ahead and reset my actor like we've been doing, and he stands back up, let's hit G so we can see the empty actor there. We pop him back up. All of a sudden, even though he's standing, the empty actor goes with him. So our focus actor goes with him. And that's the key for all of this, is because if it's not parented to a skeleton or to a bone, then the empty actor is just going to stay in place. And when the characters are moving around, if they're ducking and diving, if you're doing an action scene, or even if they're talking and they're bobbing, back and forth, like if we go back to our sequence here, reload him back into position and load up our camera view, even if, for example, I had an animation here that he was talking, for example, and there was some bobbing and back and forth, the focus wouldn't stay in place. It wouldn't follow our actor going back and forth, right? And it would go in and out of focus, which we wouldn't want. But because we don't have an animation here, that's not going to be the case. But I just wanted to show you that that's extremely important in order to keep things sharp at all times, especially when you're using animations. So this is the way to do that. When you're working with animations, you want to have that focus actor parented to a bone. For a metahuman, this is how you do it. For other actors or other characters you might have bought from the marketplace, then they might already have bones. And when you drag this focus actor under and attach it to your character, there might be another drop-down menu that says all the bones that you can attach it to. In which case, you would then select head or eye, or whatever you would want it to parent to. That's pretty much it for this lesson. I'll see you on the next one.